Okay, people, we're going to do the next section here. We're going to talk about arrays. I'm going to get rid of some of this stuff. I think we don't need this anymore. This was just talking about variables. I think we got the hang of this, and examples of a string and a number, right? Let's get rid of that. We want to keep our object here, right? So there's another special kind of object. It's called an array. Instead of doing, when you want to do an array, again, it's an object. It's just a special kind of object. It has different, works a little differently. Declare it the same way. You're going to use let you think of it more like a list instead of key values. I'll show you what I mean by that by just doing one. Remember, the object had the curly brackets. The array has the square brackets. And again, sometimes you'll see it split up just like this. We're going to do it split up like this because I think it makes it easier to see that it is, in fact, just a special kind of an object. So the format looks remarkably similar, right? Let's say curly brackets, key value, that's our object, right? Here's our array. Declare the name, keyword that declares it, the name, and then our values. But it's different. Different set of brackets, right? So what's different? Instead of basically an array, like I said, it's an object. It's a special kind of an object. I keep saying. What's special about it? The keys here are saying 1, saying 2. In an array, the key are predefined for you, and they're just numbered. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just right in order. Computers count starting at 0. That's why I said 0 first. So, in other words, you don't have to write. You just put values separated by commas, right? And I'll show you what I mean by that. So that's going to be value 0. Okay. So now, how do you think we're going to get to these? Right, so right now, if I just do this, what's it going to return? If I run this right now, anybody know what this is going to return? I'll show you. Undefined, because we're declaring two different things. We're declaring this object, defining this object, and then we're defining this array. Neither one of them doesn't tell us to return anything, so it has to return something, but since we didn't tell it what to return, it returns undefined. So if we want to see what it is, we can say, all right, what should that return? Returns the whole array, right? The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. Now, what do we want just a piece? In the object, we did the dot notation and the bracket notation. Very similar here. But instead, you don't really use the bracket notation here. You use the, you don't use the dot notation, you use the bracket notation. And what you do is you give it a number, and it's the position in the list. So, again, it just starts at 0, so the position 0 is the first one. So if we do saying what's 0, what do you think that's going to give us? The quick brown fox. So if we give it number 1, which is the second item, right, we get jumps over the lazy dog. So very, very similar to the object. This doesn't go in quotes. Like when we did the bracket notation for the object, the key name was in quotes. If we would have said saying 2. Let me show you. Saying is this. Saying, right, is the object. If we do brackets, we want to do. This doesn't work, right? That's going to be a problem. Reference error. There is no saying 1. It's looking for like a variable name here. Like I said, we need to give this. It's just not the way we refer to it. It has to be in the quotes. This will work. All right, the quick brown fox. So say this is when we're referring to the object saying, or saying give me the value of the key saying 1. Same thing here. We're saying give me the array saying list and give me the second item in the list. And that's what it's going to give us here. Okay. So again, to sum that up real quick, an array is just a special kind of object. Okay? Don't get too bogged down. It's a special kind of object. It has the keys predetermined for you, though. There's some benefits to this that we will get into. It makes it easier to loop over the contents of it. That's something you're going to hear about a lot, looping over an array. And what they mean is you're going to say, you're going to find times when you're going to need to do this in programming. We're going to say, okay, I've got this list of things. I want to do something to every one of these things in the list. We're going to do this loop, and it goes, okay, give me the first one, the quick brown fox, and then let's say, for example, we wanted to make it all capital. You run some command that says, make this string all capitals, and we'll do that to the first item. Then it says, all right, go loop back to the beginning, give me the second item, and it'll run that same function. And it'll do the same thing over and over to every item in the list sequentially. So it's a little easier for running through lists, because then you don't have to say, well, which one am I going to? It just knows to go through numerically, in numerical order. Okay. What else do I have to say about arrays? I think that's it for now. That's good enough for now. Array has some built-in functions, which we didn't talk about functions yet, but a function is just a set of code, a set of instructions. We'll get to that in the next lesson. Okay. Very good.